Hey YouTubers, North Central Outdoors again. You know, I got a comment on one of my videos not too long ago about how I prepare my meat to dehydrate, and today's video is going to be how to turn this into this. That's right. So, step one, always make sure that the area that you're going to be preparing your food in for frying or dehydrating or even just cooking, make sure it's clean. So I'm going to clean the area up here real quick. Just wipe down the countertops with some antibacterial stuff, and I'll get right back to you. Okay, we got everything cleaned up. Now, I'm only going to fry up about a pound of hamburger. This is about 6 pounds. In fact, it's 5.93, almost exactly 6 pounds. So I'm just going to third up one of these halves here, and that's what we're going to fry up. About a pound. Take some of this off. Like I said, you know, we get a lot of hamburger per week, and we use actually quite a bit of it. Hot dog sauce and this and that and hamburgers, especially during the summertime. We do a lot of hamburger grilling on the grill. Make sure your hands are also clean. I know my hands are clean because I've just washed them just a few minutes ago. Your burger, about a pound of meat. Stick that in the frying pan, and I will position the camera here. This is my handy dandy masher. I love using this stuff on hamburger meat. It does so good, just chopping and cutting it up. You know, this is 80-20 meat, 20% fat. I've used 27% fat meat before and not ever had a problem with it. The fat in the burger, when you fry it and then you dehydrate it, is what will make the meat go rancid. And you've got to be fairly careful with it and try to get all that fat or grease out of it. And I'll show you how I do that here in just a couple minutes. So I'm going to fry this up and we'll get back to you. You know, there's been a lot of people who's asked me what you use this for once it's dehydrated. And you know, you can use it in soups. You can make tacos with it. You can use it in spaghetti sauce, like one of the other videos I did on it. You can use it with make tacos and enchiladas and just, you know, anything that you can use ground beef in. I even use it in hamburger helper mix. Just add a little bit more water. Hamburger, when it rehydrates fairly quickly. It's not like corn or anything else like that. It takes a couple hours. Hamburger rehydrates really quickly. So we're almost done frying. You can see I'm not exactly the cleanest person in the world. I've been throwing hamburger meat around here as I'm stirring it. Do yourself a favor, be a little clean. I know I've wiped down all the surface areas and stuff around here, but if it hits the floor or hits the cabinet or hits the stove, throw it away. Don't put it back in the pan. You know, sooner or later this stuff's going to be in your mouth or maybe in your kid's mouth, and you don't want that. So, we're almost done here. I'm going to set the camera up over at the sink because that's the next place we're going to go. Okay, here we are at the sink. Turn on the hot water here. You want good hot water, okay? As hot as your tap will get. Get your meat. Got all that grease and stuff. You know, a lot of people tell me that I shouldn't do this because it's going to clog up my pipes, this, that, or whatever. You know, I've been doing this a long time. And as long as you got real good hot water coming out of your tap, you're not going to have much of a problem. And if you're that worried about it, I guess you could put a bowl under it or put a bucket under it or whatever you want to put under it. Good hot water. Spray your pan down real good. Try and get as much grease and fat and whatever else out of it. Now you're going to spray down your meat. And what this is going to do is get all the fat, all that grease out of this. And you want to soak it pretty good. If you have a septic tank, I do not recommend you do this. It's not real great for the septic tank. Or even an aerator, it's not that good for it. But I have city water, city sewage. And that's what I pay them for. Drain all the water out. You can see the water dropping out there. I got a lot of fat out of that right there, buddy. And you're going to put it back in the pan. And bring your pan back over to your stove. And you're going to fry it some more. Now this is the second frying. And the reason you do it again is you want to heat that meat back up. Heat the meat back up and you're going to get rid of some of the water, but there's still going to be some grease in it. You want to try and get as much grease out of it as you can. I wash this 3 times before I dehydrate it. And the reason for that is again, to get as much grease out of it as you can, because when you dehydrate it, that grease will dehydrate with the meat and go right up inside that meat and dehydrate right with it. And you don't want that. You want to get as much of it out as you can, because that grease, that fat, is what's going to make the meat go rancid faster. So we'll let this fry up here for a little bit. Get real good and hot again. And you can see I've got my stove turned up on high. So I'm going to keep turning it, keep spreading it around, because I don't want to burn the meat, but I want to get it super, super hot. See all that steam, all that water coming off of it. Look down in here, you can see a lot of grease and stuff still in this pan. Not as much as before, there's still quite a bit in there. We're going to take care of that momentarily. Oh yeah. Looking really, really good here. And that's done. Camera, take it to the sink. Put your burger, put it back in your strainer for the second time. And water on, make sure it's good and hot. Stir down your pan, get all the excess grease out of it or whatever else is left in there. Spray down your meat again. Let that drain out. And you know you're going to lose some down in the sink. Don't worry about that. It's inevitable. You're going to lose some of it. you got some big chunks in there, you ought to try to go ahead and heat them down a little bit. Smaller your beef is, the faster and the better it will dehydrate. And now we're just trying to get some of the water off of it so we can see what kind of a grease we have. Okay, and then once again, you're going to bring her right over here back. Back to the sink for another wash. The last wash. Seems like a lot. I don't know, maybe it is, but it works for me. And if it works for me, then I'm just going to keep doing it. Yeah, let that drip down there. Get as much water out of it as you can. Stick it back in your pot. Back over to the stove. Alright, fry this up one more time just to get some of the water off of it. Okay, time to put the meat on the little wheels here for the Magic Chef dehydrator that I have. I did one thing a little bit different. I took some of these, these are just little cheap little cutting boards, not really cutting boards, just places to cut there. There's some of these. You can get them at the dollar store. You get about 4 or 5 of them in a pack for a couple bucks or something like that. I just traced it out and made it to where it fits in here real good. That way nothing can fall through the grates there, because you can see the grates on that thing, you know, and the hamburger will fall right through that and go to the bottom and burn. So I made these. It wasn't that hard to do. Stick that on the dehydrator. Trusty little cup that goes over the center of the hole so stuff don't go down through. And you just very simply put your hamburger on the trays. Let me bring this camera just a little bit closer here so we can see everything.
That's this thing.
I'll put all of it on that one. I'll put about half of it on that one, about half of it on the second one. Alright, that's that. Of course, this is the lid to the hamburger that I did before. 3 other trays full of burger that I did earlier before I decided to do the video. But that's that. That's how you do it. Prepare your site, fry your meat, spoon your excess grease out. Then stick it in a strainer and strain the meat real good with real hot water as hot as your tap water can be. Put it back in the frying pan, get the meat good and hot again for a minute or two. put it back in the strainer in the sink, spray it down again with really hot water. Do that 3 times. 3 times. Then the last time that you strain it, put it back in the pan just to get everything heated back up. Get as much water out of it as you can, just by frying it. Turn your fire and everything off. Put it in your dehydrator. Now with a dehydrator like this one, this is a Magic Chef, and I've had this thing forever. About every hour, hour and a half, you rotate the trays. You take the top tray and put them on the bottom tray. If you have an Excalibur dehydrator or something like that, you won't need to do that. Okay, we'll let this dehydrate up, and I'll let you see that it will look just like this. See you in a few hours. Alright guys, it's been several hours. It's been dehydrating real well. About every hour, hour and a half I've been coming over, been rotating my trays like I told you to do before with this type of dehydrator. I take the top tray and simply move it down to the bottom tray. I'm going to move the camera in a little bit closer so you can get a good look and see what's going on. So just hang on a second. Okay, so here we are, dehydrator. There's the top. Let me zoom in here so you can see a little bit better here. Let me take the top off. And you see all the little granulates of everything here. And the best way to tell if it's done, wash your hands and then dry them off really, really well. And then go in here and try and find a big piece like that one right there, and just take it and break it in half. And if it crunches, if it's good and crunchy, and it just flakes, it's good. If it's gooey or mushy or feels like it's got any type of moisture in it whatsoever, then chances are it's not good. So this is good. It's dried. I'm gonna pull it back now. Okay, so getting this stuff into a bottle really isn't that hard to do. It's actually really, really easy. Start off with a bottle, and this is a little bottle here. I like putting them in the little bottles like this too. It only holds about a pound, pound and a half, and that way you know pretty much what you got. So let's put it in a bottle. Take your tray, and again you're going to want to clean your area off a little bit before you do this. I just take a butter knife or something to get all the little pieces up on my tray a little bit more. The great thing about this little plastic cutting board is it kind of acts like a little non-stick surface, like it's really not non-stick, but as long as it makes life easier, right? Just simply take it and move it over top of my paper plate. And let's kind of bevel it a little bit to where everything goes down to the center. Give it a little bit of a shake here and there. And then this goes in the sink to be washed. There you have it. Nice little plate full of ground beef. Now to get it in the bottle, open your bottle. I have a little white funnel. Kind of crease your plate a little bit. And then it's just a matter, let me go to the right side here. It's just a matter of shaking it in there a little bit by a little bit. And the funnel gets stopped up. Just shake it a little bit. And usually, we'll go like that. We'll just start over again. Okay, so I've got 3 trays in this. This is a little 12-ounce bottle. Half a pound per tray, just about 1.5 pounds in this bottle. Now before I put the lid on it, I'm going to want to put one of these in it. This is an oxygen absorber. It's a 100 cc. Stick it right in the top, put the lid on it, and this is going to keep for a while. How long will it keep? Oh, I usually use this thing up before 6 months to a year anyways, because I rotate stuff in and out. I don't know if I'd go over a year. I might try it. I've got some stuff in there right now. It's about 6 months. I might just let it see how long it'll go before it gets rancid. As long as you keep it in a dark place, a cool place, and it's in a bottle like this with an oxygen absorber in it, there's no oxygen, it should last for a while. How long exactly, I don't know. This is not something that I would put in, like a 15 or 20 year kit for long-term storage. If you want to do something like that, I would get on the computer and start looking at some of the freeze-dried stuff. Hey, this is North Central Outdoors. I'll see you next time.